Bitcoin cannot be stopped. And surprisingly, whenever a government comes out and states they're going to ban crypto or activities surrounding crypto, I find this to be extremely bullish. And I know what you're thinking. What the hell is this guy saying? How could a government ban on Bitcoin possibly be bullish for Bitcoin? And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why. And I'm also going to tell you why I believe Bitcoin will one day eventually reach 500,000 and then following that $1 million. And I do want to clarify, it will not be an easy road. There will be many roadblocks along the way and a lot of fear in the market on the run up to these price predictions for Bitcoin. And if this all sounds interesting to you, make sure to pay attention, subscribe to the channel, like this video. And with that being said, let's get into the content. Welcome aboard the Bitcoin Express. My name is Chase. Let's get to it. There are two ways to stop Bitcoin. Number one is physically shutting it down, and number two is banning it through government threat. And when it comes to option number one, this is no longer really a possibility. You cannot stop Bitcoin physically. Let me explain to you with an example. If you have one person keeping track of information, maybe it's the basketball game or the weather outside, but you don't want that information to be public, what do? You confiscate his ledger or you remove that person from the system. Let's say you have 10 people keeping track of a basketball game, but you don't want that information out there in the public. What do? You confiscate their ledger or you remove them from the system. But as it grows, it's going to be harder. If you have 100 people keeping track of anything, it doesn't have to be basketball, it could be anything, the weather, like I said, no matter what it is, but you don't want that information out there, all you need to do is track down those people, confiscate their ledger, and that information is gone. And this is really what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is just a way of keeping data. And in this case, it's data that is money. And you have hundreds of thousands of people around the world keeping track of the Bitcoin ledger. So let's say you have 1,000 people keeping track, but you don't want this information or this technology around. You go ahead and you shut those people down. But the problem is there's still 100,000 people all over the world keeping track of that information. And this is why Bitcoin cannot be stopped. It is so decentralized and distributed. However, there is one way that Bitcoin can be stopped physically, but the chances of it happening are extremely low. That would be if all powerful countries around the world got together and they agreed to stop Bitcoin and enforce it in their country and shut down these miners and take away the electricity rights from these people so they can't participate in Bitcoin. But that is very unlikely to ever happen because really life is all about probabilities. Nothing is a cause and effect. It's all a probability. And the probability of these countries getting together, unlikely. There are countries in the world that not only are not against Bitcoin, right? They're not going to ban it, but instead they embrace it. They're saying, come to our country. We're going to let you grow. We're going to let you build without regulation. We're going to give you the best taxes. So number one, stopping it physically is out of the picture. But number two is still in the picture. And this is where a government comes in and they say, if you use Bitcoin or crypto or anything related to it, you will go to jail, you will get fined. And we recently saw this past week that Turkey is going to ban crypto payments. And this caused the market to get scared. Now the market did crash, or whatever you want to call it, a dip, and this may have played a role. But when it comes to these government bans on crypto or crypto related services, it's almost like we're becoming desensitized to them. And what I find amusing is that when people see news of Turkey, they get scared, but they don't realize we already face the big boss. When we play video games, you work your way up to the final stage, to the final boss. But when it comes to crypto, we face the big boss early on. China, one of the most powerful countries in the world, from 2017, 2018, 2019, have been going back and forth, banning Bitcoin, banning trading, banning mining, banning everything back and forth. Of course, in the short term, we crash, but we come back stronger and stronger. And then following China, from 2018 and 2019, we saw India in the picture. They stated they're going to ban crypto and crypto-related activities. Then that ban or that proposal was lifted, and now here we're back in 2021, and India is trying to ban crypto again. But this time around, it wasn't as bad in the past. Yes, it was bad. Yes, the prices of crypto dip, or they come down, crash, whatever you want to call it, on these news stories. But we come back stronger each and every time. So now here we're talking about Turkey. And by the way, it's not only going to be Turkey. It's going to be many other countries as well. They're going to say we're going to ban crypto. We're going to ban crypto-related activities. But it will not make a dent in Bitcoin because as I mentioned in a previous video, when you ban Bitcoin, you're only removing yourself from the game. You're not actually banning it. You're just saying, you know what, I'm no longer going to participate in the future of this technology, and you remove yourself. Which is why a lot of countries are not really going to outright ban. I did make a video on that. I will leave a link in the description below. So we know when things are going well, Bitcoin will continue to climb. But in the intro, I mentioned when these governments come out and they ban crypto or crypto-related activities, I find it bullish in the long term. And the reason is because when these governments come out and ban Bitcoin, they are proving the very reason Bitcoin was created. Bitcoin was created to be outside of government control. And when a government comes out and says you're no longer allowed to use Bitcoin, they're saying we're trying to ban something that you really can't ban, and they're proving the point to their people. And on top of that, they are telling their people, basically, this technology is too strong. We are threatened by it and we need to shut it down. Everything Bitcoin was created for, to be outside of government power, outside of government control, is proven to the people when these governments come out to do something that's not even really possible. And following this crypto payments ban, the interest for Bitcoin spiked in Turkey with the lira plummeting. When these governments come out and they say, we're going to ban Bitcoin, it is essentially free marketing. These governments are basically coming out and saying, for all the reasons Bitcoin was created, we're going to prove it to you right now. We're going to try to ban it just to prove this point, which obviously in the end of the day does not work. As we know, Nigeria has not been the most friendly to Bitcoin over the years. We did find out though in 2021 that Nigeria did not ban Bitcoin, but instead banks and other financial institutions are barred from serving crypto companies. But the end result is that Nigeria is not the most friendly when it comes to Bitcoin. Well, if we look at Google searches over the last 12 months for the word Bitcoin, to no surprise, the #1 country on this chart is Nigeria. The countries that are not friendly to Bitcoin are usually the ones that actually need Bitcoin. And it's always funny how it turns out. These governments come out and they say you can't mine Bitcoin, you can't trade Bitcoin, but people will always find a way. That is the whole point about Bitcoin. I think people look at crypto and they're thinking speed and cost and all that, and they're like, this cryptocurrency is faster and cheaper. That's not what cryptocurrency is about. Cryptocurrency is about decentralization, an asset or money that no government can control. This is why Bitcoin is still #1 on CoinMarketCap, despite it being literally the slowest cryptocurrency and the most expensive cryptocurrency, because it's all about decentralization. And even when we talk about a place like Morocco, which actually banned Bitcoin, Bitcoin purchases are soaring on the trading platform Local Bitcoins. February 2021 was the platform's best month ever in Morocco in terms of trading volumes. You really cannot stop Bitcoin, and other countries that have tried to in the past realized that they had to give up and they had to join the party. At least they can collect taxes, right? And when we look at Egypt in 2018, the Grand Mufti declared the use of cryptocurrencies forbidden under Islamic law. And fast forward a year later, and Egypt lifted their crypto ban and will allow licensed cryptocurrency companies. This is just how it plays out. The countries that ban Bitcoin, they're only punishing themselves. Like right now, Turkey is really just punishing themselves. And like I said, this is marketing to crypto. This is why in the long run, I believe this is bullish. Of course, in the short term, this is not good. I'm practical. When a country comes out and says we're going to ban Bitcoin, short term, not good. But in the process of them banning it, it shows the people of the world what Bitcoin really is. And it provides people with, I guess, the incentive to finally get into crypto and Bitcoin. They realize the importance of it. And I think the USA really understands this. The USA has never once stated they're going to ban Bitcoin. Anyone that told you they're going to ban it, it's a huge myth. But instead, the US is going to regulate crypto. As Hester Pierce, the SEC commissioner, stated, it's very difficult to ban peer-to-peer technology. So what the USA is doing right now is they're trying to regulate it, add KYC, know your customer rules on wallets. Of course, the Biden administration is trying to increase capital gains taxes. So in a way, this is also not the best thing for crypto, but it's not a ban. So this is the way I see countries moving in the future. They will regulate it, but they will not ban. Anyone that bans it in the short term, not good. In the long term, this is marketing for the reason why Bitcoin was created. And I put a post on my Twitter, which you definitely should go follow, right? I put out some good stuff there. I think it's good. And I said the most important question is, are you an investor or a trader? Big difference that will change the way you view the crypto market. Because when we look at crypto as a trader, we are following this news. We are following India. We are following China, Turkey, up and down. We get nervous. We get scared. We buy high. We sell low. But when you think as an investor, it becomes very, very simple. All you need to ask yourself is, in 10 years from now, will Bitcoin be worth significantly more than it is today? If the answer is yes, buy Bitcoin. If the answer is no, don't buy Bitcoin. It becomes very easy, very simple, and then you're not paying attention to all these ups and downs in the short term, because there will be ups and downs in the short term. Now, I do believe in 10 to 20 years, Bitcoin will reach 500,000 and then eventually will reach $1 million. But it will not be easy. Right now, I have people in my DMs stating, I'm down $200, $300, I don't know what to do. Sorry to tell you, it's only going to get worse. The drops and the gains are going to be much larger. When we have a Bitcoin worth $200,000, a 10% drop in one day, which is normal in crypto, will be $20,000. Bitcoin will be going up and down $20,000, $30,000 in one day. The candlesticks will get enormous, and it's only going to get scary. That's why I state that it is very important to identify yourself right now as a trader or as an investor, because as an investor, it makes it a lot more simple. Now, even though I have a price range where I think Bitcoin is going, the Simpsons on one of their recent episodes stated that Bitcoin is going to be infinity. And usually the joke with the Simpsons is whatever they say, it comes true. And when I look at this, I actually kind of agree with this. Yes, I think there's going to be a range where Bitcoin reaches, but in terms of Bitcoin ever fully stopping, just not even moving up one more in penny or Satoshi, whatever you want to call it, it will always continue to go up. And the reason is because governments will always print money. And as long as governments print money, people will put their money into assets such as Bitcoin. And there has never been one single empire in the history of the world that did not print money or that did not debase their currency. Even when we look at empires that ran on a gold or silver standard, eventually they debased their currency, and then came inflation, and then came the destruction of their empire. So for that reason, I believe as long as governments have a role in creating money, they will never stop printing it. And I do think governments are here to stay. We have these idealistic views in crypto, one world currency, no more government. I do not think that's going to happen. We're going to have countries for probably the rest of time, right? Bitcoin will play a role in it, but we always will have government fiat money, whether it's physical or whether it's digital, and they will not stop printing it. And if you want to go deeper into why I think Bitcoin over the next 10 to 20 years will reach at least $500,000, and you want to get more into detail, make sure to watch this video right above. Go ahead and click that link. You will learn a lot in that video. And make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.